Hello everybody, welcome to the Legless Tripod. Today we will be discussing The Lighthouse. I suppose as this is the first podcast, shall we all briefly introduce ourselves?
Hi, I'm Ellie.
I'm Tom.
I'm Ben. Recently we all watched the film The Lighthouse. What is everyone's general thoughts on the film? Shall we start with Elspeth?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was a film that I meant to watch for ages, but I just hadn't gotten around to seeing it. And I definitely think it's one of those like artsy films that it has to be like kind of your type of thing. If you don't enjoy like horror or psychological things or like more artsy mainstream indie movies, that was a lot of like contrasting things. I don't think you'll enjoy it, but I really did. I thought it was really good. What did you guys think?
I enjoyed it. I feel like it was artsy and a bit weird, but just normal enough so that a general audience could watch it and be weirded out, but still enjoy it. Wasn't too artsy. I enjoyed the themes.
I think it made sense, you know, even though it was absolutely crazy. It made sense because the character was going crazy at this point.
Mm.
So we were seeing it through his eyes, in a sense, and it kind of they held the narrative together quite well, so you still understood the basics of what was going on.
I thought it was kind of on that topic. I thought it was kind of good. The level, like the way they showed he was crazy, and the narrative was quite simple. So then you were like, you started to guess the time scale of things, but it wasn't too overly complicated that you got like lost and confused. Because basically all that happens is they're stuck on a lighthouse, and that I think it really uses to its benefit.
Tom, I took you as a realist. Where's all this positivity coming from?
What do you mean?
There's a lot of... I mean, for starters, mermaids aren't real.
No.
Are they not?
Oh, shit.
But
Stepped
it
over
was...
a line there.
It was like Hereditary. Hereditary's weird and not real, but also real.
Yeah, I suppose that's
It
what
was
you mean.
very similar in that theme, just you were in the late 18th century, I think. The late 19th century, sorry.
I really like the film, and I'd like to give the audience my top 5 biggest reasons why all of you guys should watch The Lighthouse. For starters, number 1, aesthetic. We've got beautiful symmetry. We've got black and white, amazing cinematography. All of it just kind of screams A24. It's really aesthetic
God.
24.
Agreed.
Number 2, action. There's some great action in there. It's a really cool fight between Robbie P and a seagull. And there's nothing too scary as well, I found. There's no like jump scares or anything. It's not horror. It's more of like, it's a really kind of, well, yeah, it's a psychological.
It's a very, very light thriller, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And all the stuff that happens, like, you're not too far on the edge of your seats for it. Maybe sometimes, but it's actually a pretty chill film overall.
A chill film.
It's a pretty chill film.
I feel like it's also more psychological in the way you feel like uncomfortable, and then you start thinking about it, and it's more disturbing than scary.
Yeah.
I would say.
But it's not horrifying. It's nothing like
No.
Number 3, humour. The dialogue and the acting between Robbie P and Willie D was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. We had like the what conversation. I love the what conversation. I've always loved the what.
Yes.
Where he's
yes.
like, what? That was a good one. Number 4, romance. There's quite a fair bit of romance between between Robbie P and his fellows. There's clearly something going on between him and Willie D. I think we can all agree.
The sexual tension was palpable. Wait,
Honestly.
I fucked that word.
Palpable.
Palpable. Was Palpatine. It's fuck.
Can I see if that's actually a word?
It's
Palpable.
Yeah, palpable.
Wow.
Palatable is not a word. You could have been saying palatable.
Yes.
Yeah, I said the sexual tension is palatable.
It's pleasant to taste.
Ooh.
But yeah, when they're dancing and stuff, and you're just like, oh, what's happening here? And then they just break out.
I did
into
like the fact that
wrestle.
when they were both pissed, there was such extremes from hating each other's guts to loving each other, and then forwards and backwards between that all the time.
Yeah,
I did like that about the film.
I
alcohol.
also feel like it showed, like, you know, when you're really drunk and it is like that sometimes on a night out, like the way alcohol can get people to be really angry, then really, like, in Ben's words, romantic. I thought it was, like, not realistic in that sense, but I can definitely, like, see where it's coming from with the alcohol usage, and I thought that was, like, a really interesting aspect of the film for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot on alcoholism, or alcoholness, or whatever you want to call it, throughout the film. But yeah,
Alcoholness.
Well, they say that what's his name, Pattinson, is at the beginning of his sobriety, when he's there, and which is why he refuses to drink the alcohol when Wake offers it. But then because the system is, I'll use the word infected, that's why he drinks the alcohol, and it trips him into alcoholism.
it's weird though. What I found while watching it is that like he had nightmares each night, and then when he finally gave in and started drinking, they kind of stopped, and he wouldn't have. As far as I noticed, he wouldn't have nightmares, and it was almost as if the nightmares became his real life.
On top of that, it was like, I don't know, do you want to talk about the fact they're all crazy now, or do you have another reason to watch this film, Ben?
Oh, there's 5 reasons, Elspeth.
Okay,
and
you
I
can
haven't said my
finish
fifth.
the fifth reason coming up now.
Okay, you
I'm
ready?
excited.
So we've gone through all the kind of genres. It's a action, comedy, romance kind of, and I think it's also in a way a really good musical. With all the sea shanties and just the general soundtrack of the dun, the
Yes.
foghorn. We love the foghorn.
Yes.
Foghorn was so good. I watched it in cinema originally, back in the day, and watching it here at home, I suppose, is so different. The foghorn was so bloody loud in the cinema. Oh my god!
I feel like that would get so annoying. Like, you kind of got used to it, but it was
Yeah.
still in the back of your head. But in a cinema, like,
You could feel everything vibrate. It was insane.
That sounds incredible, because watching it on my TV, it didn't really have that effect. I feel like it would have been annoying, but then more intent on what Eggers wanted.
I was kind of surprised that it wasn't like as loud. I think they must have quietened it for the DVD or something. It just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel the same. I wanted, I wanted
mean,
the vibrations on
that-
my booty.
that kind of makes sense if they quietened it down, because I feel like the experience of going to the cinema and paying like however much money to sit down and watch a film is really different to like
Yeah.
watching a film at home, just like on your TV or on your computer. I'm happy I didn't watch this on my computer though.
What did you want to say, Elspeth? What were you saying?
I
about-
had some thoughts on your reasons.
Oh,
But I'm trying to remember them. Oh, it was about the cinematography, and it was about the fact they're crazy. And Tom just looked excited at cinematography, so we can talk about that.
Touched on a topic I like. Carry
Okay,
on.
do you want to start then?
Me, yes. Well, it was shot in 1.19.1, which is like almost square.
very
And apparently
close.
they wanted to disclose information from the viewer and sort of keep it very symmetrical in the shot.
I feel like that really works though, because it's like with the square. Firstly, it's like old timey, which makes sense, and then also it makes it even more constricted. And for me, it was kind of like, in Wes Anderson films, how everything's square and symmetrical, and it has like this perfection about it. Because it's really quaint and cute. I feel like this kind of did the opposite. Like, the fact that the set design was so fucked up, or like just messy, and it was like so grimy and the tones were so dark, but it was shot in this little square. It just felt, and like symmetry, it just felt like something was off about it, and it kind of like was a really good way of putting you on edge. The cinematography was probably one of my favorite things about this movie. Like, they were just so well staged. They were just so pretty. And I really liked the waves. And there were a few, like, things that if you took them as stills, they would be like gorgeous paintings or photos. But I thought this film was really referential, and I thought like the body performances when he was running with the axe, obviously it was like The Shining, and just like the way the characters moved, it was kind of like in Citizen Kane and There Will Be Blood, like their movements get more janky and monstrous, and it like there was one scene where he was going up the stairs and it looked a lot like the scene from Nosferatu, if you guys know this. It's like a German expressionistic art film.
I think
Horror
I studied a bit, but I can't remember it at all.
Well, basically my point is that I thought that like the body performances was really cool and pretty referential. And then I have a few more references. One shot looked like Joan of Arc. And when another spoiler. But he like starts, so Robbie P, ew, I'm not saying that again. Robert Pattinson walks Willem Dafoe and he like turns back on him, right? He like betrays him. And he walks him like a dog, like to bury him alive. And that just made me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a lot of Lars von Trier and Antichrist, if you guys know him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the same way I think Lars von Trier does like weird torture porn, perverted shit. Like that was a thing in the film that made me feel really uncomfortable, just because it was just so humiliating.
That is one of the weirdest points of the film, is when he's being walked like a dog. Out of the many that there are, that is quite strange.
I was fine with it all except for that. I just felt like it was so humiliating to a point of like torture. I was like, oh, this is making me so uncomfortable.
I mean, what he does after is possibly, some would say, worse.
Well, yeah, but it didn't make me as uncomfortable.
Okay, you're fine with that. You're like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, who cares?
Stop
It's
walking
just an
him like a
act.
dog.
Yeah.
See, well, one of the themes of the film is that Pattinson wants Defoe's like assurance, and then walking him like a dog just sort of takes me away from that.
I think
No,
I think it
I
was a
think-
case of he just got so pissed at the kind of almost ruthless dictatorship that Willem Dafoe's character was playing over him, and in the end he just snapped and couldn't take any more of his. Some of the stuff that Willem Dafoe would make him do was within reason, I feel.
Yeah,
was
I was
just
about to say.
It was just the way I think Robert Pattinson's character came into it thinking he was going to be reasonably close to equal. Like as a second wiki, he thought he was going to be reasonably. He was basically treated quite low in comparison to what he thought he was getting into. It was,
and he
really,
got to touch none of the light.
He got to touch none of the light. That's all he wanted to see. Just wanted
Especially
to see the
after
light.
he saw Defoe undress himself with
Exactly. He was like,
And cream.
get me in on that.
fancy a bit of those tentacles on me.
But I was going to say, like, realistically though, Willem Dafoe, maybe I'm just being delusional. He was like a liar and he was a bit mean, but like he wasn't that bad.
He gaslighted Robert Pattinson.
I have something to say about this later. I have a great quote I found.
I think one thing that really confused me is where Willem Dafoe's kind of mentality lies, because at one point he was saying, oh yeah, the old second wiki, he died, he went crazy, he believed all this stuff about mermaids and seagulls and whatnot. He's a crazy man. He labelled him as crazy and then went on to say all the same shit. I think he's the second wiki. I think he killed the original wiki and now he's taken the power and like kind of gone crazy with it, if you know what I mean. And that's why he's not as seemingly professional about his job as you'd imagine. I don't know. It's weird. That's one of my theories.
I feel like
about
there's
it.
some truth to that theory, but at the same time, he's very old to be a second wiki.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting though, because like your sympathy keeps on swapping, because obviously like you're aligned with Robert Pattinson, and then he starts going crazy. So then you're like, oh wait, I feel like I'm with Willem Dafoe. Then he's a total asshole. So then you're like Robert Pattinson, and it just keeps on switching. And I think
Flicking back and forth, yeah.
yeah, in one scene even like you switch, and then as soon as it switches to one, you're like, wait, but what if they're lying?
I
like
think
it's-
the one scene where you're properly like unsure of whether to trust the protagonist. The one where he looks down and Willem Dafoe is the guy he'd murdered, or the mermaid, or whatever.
For me, it was much earlier. I think the first time I thought it is like, you know, when he says, like, when's the boat coming? And he's like, we've been here for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Because at
yeah,
first
that's a good
I was
point.
like, Robert Pattinson, what the fuck? Are you crazy? And then I was like, but wait, maybe Willem Dafoe's just gaslighting him. Because, like,
Oh, he definitely
mean-
is.
yeah, so that was the first time that I was like, oh, what's going on here?
I really liked how they did that though, because he's like, Eggers had really well constructed the film to make even the audience unsure as to like how long it
There's no perception of time on that island, because you realise that the next day, what you perceive as the next day, maybe not be the next day at all, because we go through, is it 4 weeks or 2 weeks until the next boat comes? Very, very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
I also feel like the editing really got across the insanity as well, and I liked how it started pretty like, it was interesting, but it wasn't too experimental, I guess. And then when they start going crazy, the editing also amps up. So like our sense of chronology is lost, and towards the end, the scenes are just like
Meshed into one.
montage and just meshed together. It was really cool.
Is there anything wrong did you find with the movie?
I was watching The Lighthouse through a slightly shady service, which I'm not going to disclose the name of. But I couldn't turn subtitles on, so I just had to struggle with not understanding the crazy speak that they were on about when he was talking about stories and myths and things. But I still got the gist of the film. I just don't think I missed anything too.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like the stuff he's saying, you don't actually need to know the majority of what he's saying, because it's just absolute gibberish anyway. They're just the ramblings of a madman. Shall we go over crazy notes?
Okay, I don't have that many.
I'm gonna do a little jingle right here. It's crazy notes. All right, let's do some crazy notes. That was my jingle.
Oh, that's the end, right? Okay.
Okay. This is a section of our show where we tell each other the craziest notes that we wrote down while watching these films. I've got 3. How many have you guys got?
I've got 1, but I feel like this is going to be very underwhelming.
Do you know what's crazy?
What
I didn't
is-
write any notes when I was watching this film.
That's
Oh my god,
oh
Tom,
my
that's
God.
appalling.
I just watched it and then analysed afterwards.
Okay, I'll do one of mine then. This was one of my notes that I wrote down while halfway through watching. Fun to imagine Rob as Mario if he were in colour. It is really fun. If you watch this film, there are scenes where he's wearing a pretty Mario get-up, and just imagine it in colour. Just imagine it's red and blue and white. It's amazing.
Imagine that him just smashing that fucking seagull to death like Mario suits.
Bashing one out in the shed. Looking at Mario. I've got a crazy note. That was shot on the first day of filming. You know, when he
Oh my
sat
God.
there furiously going at it.
Oof,
Yeah,
fair.
first day of filming.
Do you think he actually had his dick out? Because sometimes they like have socks over their dicks for like sex scenes.
But I feel like this was one of those films. I feel like,
Yeah, I agree.
There was
I don't
minimal
think.
crew members on set, wasn't there? Really?
yeah, exactly. I feel like and Robert Pattinson's a bit batshit crazy, so I feel like he would have got his dick out. What's your crazy note?
My crazy note isn't very crazy. It's not very funny.
Oh.
I said, is he crazy or being crazy gaslighted?
There's a lot of crazy in that.
I
crazy.
know. It's a crazy note because is he crazy or crazy gaslighted? Or are they all just both fucking crazy? Or are you crazy?
That's kind of similar to one of my notes. I wrote, William Dafoe is gaslighting Rob. I scribbled that down, and it actually took me about 3 minutes to translate it because we were kind of in the dark, and the word gaslighting I didn't write very well. And it kind of like trailed off the page as well. Anyway, my other note, this is in reference to the end, and we're not going to spoil the ending, I don't think. Well,
We already have, haven't we?
maybe we already have, but we're not going to go
Spoilers.
into much. Like, we won't talk much about the context of the situation, but this is my final note that I wrote. It's all a big metaphor for how good sunbathing feels. That was my overall analysis of the film.
You should write letterbox reviews.
Yeah, detail that review, please. Elaborate.
Because you know when he... Wait, are you joking or...
No, like, explain what you mean.
So you know when he opens the light and then he's like...
Yeah.
That's him feeling how good it is to sunbathe. Because those lights are fucking boiling. And that's what I'm imagining. Anyway.
Okay.
Talking about letterbox reviews.
Ah, nice segue there.
Da-da-da-da-da.
This is Guess the Film from the letterbox review.
The person who doesn't get it first
Okay.
Yeah.
has to have
A drink.
bebidos. Yes.
What are your buzzers?
Oh,
Can I
fuck
wait?
yeah.
Can I guess Ben's? Did he go hark?
Well, now you've guessed it, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do the foghorn noise instead.
Let's hear
I'm
a
just
sample.
going to go. Fuck.
That's a weak foghorn.
That's such a
really.
bad
gonna go-
foghorn.
Boo.
Yeah, my laugh
Fuck's
just then
sake.
sounded a bit like a foghorn. I'm just gonna go like. Du-du-du-du-du-du.
It's quite a long
Okay.
one.
That is
Yeah,
a long one.
I know. I'm gonna have to do it really fast. If I get the first note in, is it okay, or do I have to do the whole thing?
You have to finish it before Ben finishes his foghorn.
Okay. No, it's got to be a long foghorn.
Yeah, it has to be of duration.
You're trying to
Okay.
get a ship in. Oh wait, I don't know how foghorns work.
They're like
Okay.
Morse code, aren't they? Can we just
No,
discuss
they're
this quickly?
not. I
Isn't
think
it?
no, they go for it to show that to the lighthouse people that they're coming in, and then aren't the lighthouse people supposed to do something?
No.
Thank
they
you for
have
the
fog-
maritime expert there.
All
Time
right,
for the
whatever.
first review.
Tom, do you know
Yeah.
what a foghorn's supposed to how that works?
Is it
We're
you
just
talking?
ruining his segment.
Sorry.
I'm excited to get into my little notes here, and you're not even letting me.
Okay, let's do it. That's so cute.
Okay. Are you ready for the first one?
Yes.
How are you going to make me sit through all that shit and not reward me with a breakup?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Malcolm Marie.
Well done.
Ah.
First point to Elspeth.
Okay.
Second review. I've never seen a movie more tailor-made for straight men to attack everyone else on the internet for not liking.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. The
Yeah.
Joker.
Well done.
Oh, I'm killing it
2 for
today.
2. Well done. Everyone drunk there. This next one is a personal favourite of mine.
Fuck.
When he ain't got no hair to pull, so you just start smacking his head.
Ah,
Oh, I can.
da-da-da-da-da-da. Is it like
Yes.
Uncut Gems?
No, it is not.
Oh, that's
I
a good
can-
guess then.
I can imagine someone slapping a head.
Same.
Ah.
Wait, when
Right.
it ain't got no hair to pull, so you just slap their head.
When he ain't got no hair to pull.
Okay.
He.
Right. 15 more seconds.
No, can we get a hint?
What about if I give you a second review?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I stub my toe, I cancel all my plans, but blank gets in a car accident and still tries his hard
Oh,
ass off.
da-da-da-da-da-da. Is it Whiplash?
It is Whiplash.
Ooh.
3 for 3, Benjamin. Has anyone seen the trailer for Concrete Cowboys by
I've
Netflix?
not even heard of it. Has
That's the one with Idris, isn't it?
It is the one with Idris Elba. I watched it the other day, and his accent just seems off.
the trailer or the movie?
The trailer. It's not
Okay,
out yet.
go on. Sorry.
No, I watched it and it's apparently based on maybe not a true story, but on truths. So like there were cowboys in whatever city it was set in that year.
I mean, there are
That
still
era.
now, aren't there?
Is there still now?
Yeah, urban cowboys is a big thing. Yeah.
But it just seemed like forced and very much Netflix twisting it for drama.
honestly,
And then you had the very stereotypical, not father but father figure with the kids, and
Yeah.
he's fighting like whether he is his dad or he isn't his dad, or all those sort of themes, and it just seemed like, oh.
I found it kind of rude from Netflix when they were like,
Rude.
we're delving into a story that you've never seen before. But there have been so many articles on like urban cowboys in recent years, by like Vice and people like that. Like, we do know about them. It's not like we're completely unaware of their presence. It's kind of almost forcing them into more of a kind of, they're pushing them aside even more by saying they're such an unheard story. But they're not. They are quite it does occur quite a lot to have urban cowboys in certain cities in America. Not as much in London. It'd be odd to see in a London urban cowboy.
It would be so cool to see one in London.
We've got the Hackney City Farm, so it's not an entirely impossible scenario.
I'm just imagining like London roadmen on horses.
That would be sick. Imagine like riding a black stallion. Oh, that'd be killer.
It would be quite
Instead
cool.
of the electric scooters.
But yeah, the trailer was just... I think the thing with Idris is...
I think he should have been James Bond. Does anyone know who James Bond is?
Have they released it yet? I think
I have no idea.
I heard...
There was a really weird talk of who it was going to be.
It was going to be Tom Hardy or something, wasn't it?
I mean, Tom Hardy would be a solid one, but he's a bit too brute force, isn't he? Like he did... what's that film he did with the prisoner?
Bronson.
Bronson, that's it. He did Bronson, and I think that just shows, like...
But yeah, he does have quite a wide...
in a way.
He has quite a wide palette.
That is true.
I would love to see... Well, I would want to see Tom Hardy doing it purely for selfish reasons. But I saw him in Capone the other month, and that wasn't a very good film. But I just think Idris Elba would have been so good, because he's so classy, and he's old enough, and... Like, if they just have another, like... Well, I don't know if it should be... Well, you know what I mean.
People are talking about the Bridgerton guy being him.
No,
I think it needs to be someone who's got a fully fledged career. Like, he's been around for a while, like Craig had. And I
fully agree. I think it should be someone who's slightly maturer, has a fully fledged career, because it's like a bit of a pinnacle. Like, it's an achievement to say you're Bond. And I feel like it's a prestigious thing. So if they just gave it out to a newcomer,
yeah, the Bridgerton
I
guy's
think
too
it would
young.
like make it worse. Do you know what I like? It would just make it would like lessen its prestige.
What about Tom Hiddleston?
No,
I'd accept Hiddleston. I feel.
I would.
I just don't think he's like. I just don't think he's like badass enough.
Have you watched Night Manager?
Yes.
No, maybe I just don't get the hype around him. But I just don't get it, you know. I think he's classy.
Thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people don't want him to be... They don't want the new Bond to be any skinnier than Daniel Craig. But Tom Hiddleston is still quite, like, well-built.
It's just a bit taller.
Yeah, he's just a bit taller.
How tall's Daniel Craig?
You're really looking at Loki and being like, damn, that should be Bond.
No, Night Manager, he plays pretty much a Bond character.
He does.
And he's always wearing suits and stuff. I think it's...
Maybe he'd be good at it. Maybe I'm just a judgmental bitch.
I tell you who I'm going to ban is the person that if they pick him as Bond, I will riot. I'm not having this. Benedict Cumberbatch. That can not happen.
Yeah, that doesn't fit.
That'd be fucking disgusting. Ugh, Doctor Strange has honestly ruined his career.
Tom
I don't
Holland.
think he's going to get any good.
Why? But people like Doctor Strange. Why do you think it ruined his career? Maybe I just haven't heard about this.
Disgusting American accent. Ugh,
Was he bad at it? I mean, I saw the film, so I should know, but I
in
can't
my
remember.
opinion, it was a bit... It was just annoying, I found. I don't know.
I watched 20 minutes of Doctor Strange and then turned it off.
I watched the whole thing in the cinema. I didn't think it was bad, but I mean, it wasn't like...
Some people were saying Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah, I love Henry Cavill.
That would be alright, I think. That wouldn't be too bad.
What do you think about Robbie P?
He kind of looks like a Bond. Robbie P is too crazy to play. Like, I know he did... what's it called? Everyone's saying he should get it after Tenet. And Like, I see what they mean, but he's just... Yeah, he's doing Batman. He doesn't need to do Bond as well. Right. Imagine Martin Freeman. That'd be hilarious. Little Bond, Martin Freeman.
Little Bond.
Oh, what about Richard Madden?
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd be really good. Maybe he's a bit young, but I mean, he's getting older.
In a few years, maybe.
And he was in The Bodyguard, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that's quite Bond. I remember thinking that, and that was very Bond. Bondage. Should we describe it as bondage?
Yeah, Richard
That's got a lot
Madden's
of
pretty
bondage.
bondage. On a
It's a
scale.
very-
Madden had a lot of bondage.
It's a very
in.
5-drink Ben thing to say.
That's such a 5 drink. On a scale of 1 to 5 on the bondage scale, where does Richard Madden place?
There's a lot of bondage in The Bodyguard.
Is
in my
there?
opinion. Have you watched The Bodyguard?
No.
It's such a good series, from what I remember.
It was quite good. It was quite good. The endings. I don't know if I like the ending or not. It was a bit like, oh, this is the person you least expected to be the
A few
enemy.
years ago now.
Whoa, you least expected this person to be it, and then you're just sitting there like, yeah.
For people listening at home, if any of this is included, basically, a whole point of our podcast is we drink during it because Ben is the biggest lightweight on earth. He can have one beer and just like get drunk.
It's cheap, it's affordable, it's a good lifestyle. I recommend being a lightweight. If you have high tolerance, is it high tolerance or low tolerance?
High tolerance.
tolerance.
Wait, you don't have a high tolerance. You have a low
Okay.
tolerance.
If you have a high tolerance to alcohol, get a low tolerance to alcohol.
Get
That's how
one.
that works.
What's the best way to actually get a lower tolerance? Is it just
Abstain
not drinking
from
for a while?
alcohol.
Just don't
Yeah.
drink for ages or lose weight. Okay, Ben, I feel like I've become a lightweight, but should you have now 5 reasons to be a lightweight?
Okay, 5 reasons to be a lightweight. You ready?
Musicals.
1, it's cheap. It's very cheap. I can just go to the shop, buy 4 beers, and that's me for the night. That's good. But bueno.
4 beers will do you a whole night.
Honestly,
That's
Honestly.
insane.
Crazy.
the other day, I just want to clear up for the big fans of my alcohol life out there. The other day, I think it was Friday, I had a lot to drink. What was I drinking?
He probably
Um,
had like 2, like,
He had so much to drink he can't remember.
he had so much to
What-
drink
what
he
was I
can't
actually
count to
drinking? Jesus
3.
Christ.
You were drinking from your water
Oh,
bottle.
vodka. Yeah, it was vodka and Coke. I had...
2 vodka and Cokes.
I only had 2, yeah. So I think it's like...
I was joking.
No, for real. Had 2 vodka and Cokes. So it's quite a big bottle. It's like the size of...
They can't see anything.
I know, I'm trying to say it. It's like the size
70
of...
centiliter.
That'll do. Tom knows. I'm not sure.
Wait,
if
what?
that's the
Wait,
size of my
bottle of
bottle.
vodka wise?
No. Like my
Glass
bottle.
size.
I had a bottle. I was carrying around a bottle like a
Like a
child.
water bottle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, you know what a water bottle looks like, audience. I was carrying around one of them, and it had some vodka and it had some Coke. It was actually passion fruit flavored vodka. Very bougie of me. And actually, it wasn't Coke. Oh, the plot twists that are going on here. It was summer fruits. Oh, fruit twist Fanta, I think, the red Fanta.
Whoa.
Wow.
And so I was like getting a passion fruit overload, and after 2 bottles, I was dancing at one point, and I go back to the room, and I laid down on the floor for approximately 10 minutes, not being able to move anything but my arms, and then I get up, and this is the first time that it's happened to me in 10 years, and I puked. As a lightweight, that's another benefit. You don't puke that much because you don't generally tend to drink that much alcohol, so it doesn't fuck you up as much. But this one time, those 2 bottles of Fanta and vodka, they did me in, and I puked, and it was weird. It was so weird, considering I couldn't feel it coming or anything. I didn't know what was going on.
Really?
I've never puked from alcohol in my life,
Wow.
And so I was kind of like shell shocked. I was like, "What's going on?" And I think a lot of it was just general dizziness because my head was spinning so much. It was insane.
That's the worst thing. When you lie down when you're drunk and like you're about to go to bed and it's the whole spinning.
Or you
Fuck
try
that
to go to
shit.
bed and you feel like you're falling through the sky.
I hate that.
I've got plenty of videos of you at the start of what many other people do call the night, and you're just finished because you drank
Literally.
that much.
The night hadn't even started and he was already like drunk. We were just sat there in the kitchen like not doing anything, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm already fucked."
Jesus Christ. I'm actually fine right now. Can I just point that out to everyone? I am 2 drinks down and a few shots of rum, and I'm actually all right.
Can I also point out that earlier when we were talking about the Lighthouse, you said, "Oh no, I'm slurring my words. It's already begun."
So watch the film. It's a good film. Everyone likes it. If you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into anything, as I said, it fits into all genres. It's
Even
an
if
amazing,
you're not
versatile
into artsy
film.
films, or if you think we're all talking absolute waffle, give it a watch. At least
Give it a
watch
watch.
it out.
It's a family-friendly romance and it has some edgy sections. It's really for everyone.
Yeah, if you like musicals, you'll like it. If you like action films, you'll like it. If you like Fast and Furious, you'll definitely like this.
If you like set pieces as well, there's some really nice like musical set pieces.
If you like comedies like The Hangover, you're gonna really like this film.
If you like Bridesmaids, or if you like Adam Sandler, but not good Adam Sandler, like bad Adam Sandler, or good Adam Sandler, you'll love this film.
If you like the A-Team, you'll
Oh,
definitely love this
or
film.
the Puppet A-Team, the Team America. Lots of puppets in this film.
If you like films about the seaside, like
Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester, is that even by the sea?
I don't
Yes,
know.
it is.
There's a shot
Yes,
of
it
him
is.
on a boat. I know that from the
yeah.
first 10 minutes, which I watched and then subsequently turned off.
Never
a good
seen
film.
it.
If you liked Manchester by the Sea, like Tom, then you should go and watch this film, The Lighthouse, about seagulls and stuff.
If you like David Attenborough, you should watch this film.
If you liked,
Wow, how long are we going to do this bit?
okay, that's enough. That's enough. That is enough. If you like any of those films, you should watch this film. Just watch this film. Just watch this film. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our amazing podcast. Watch The Lighthouse now. Watch Fast and Furious now.
Don't tell them to watch it. Tell them to listen to us next week.
Listen to us at some point when we release the next episode.
In a fortnight.
In a fortnight, yeah, we will do that. Thank you all for listening. I've been Ben.
I've been Tom.
I've been Ellie.
Goodbye.
Wow, what an outro.